generally, by and large, the question of Kasese or Rwenzori region is a question of historical injustices complicated by political manipulation and political patronage, seeking political support from the various communities through districthood project and kingdomhood projects.
The conflict in the Rwenzori sub-region has flared up again since the last crisis in June 2014, which was blamed on tribal clashes. The new conflict has so far claimed at least 40 lives since March. And to understand this conflict, one needs to travel back into the 20th century. Then the majority Bakonjo tribe in Kasese and the minority Bamba were integrated in Toro Kingdom as a political maneuver by the British colonialists.
So it was like putting two strange people in the same bed. But much more important also is that the Toro authority, native authority, tended to discriminate the other communities in terms of resource allocation, that is jobs.
But this changed in June 1963 when the Bakonjo and Bamba seceded to form Rwenzori Kingdom. But even after getting an independent kingdom, the two communities just tolerated each other. In later years, government approved the split of Kasese into smaller districts, as was happening in other parts of the country. According to Mwambuti Anderesa, a political historian at Makerere University, the decision to subdivide the district for political expedience fueled the tensions.
Now the Basongora wanted districts, I think the Banyabindu wanted districts. So the original predominant group like the Bakonzo in the Kasese do not want more districts to be created. Whereas the so-called minorities in the region want districts.
Land that belong to him, prisons, and resettled them. But now to the Bakonjo, resettling, they also had land issues. They wanted land. Now they saw one particular group of people being resettled, and that did not rub them on the right side.
But President Museveni disagrees, saying districts bring services closer to the people. Kasese was renowned for copper production, but the industry went into abeyance about 30 years ago, although there are now efforts to revamp it. Copper was a major source of livelihood for many Kasese residents, and since it's no more, many people here are languishing in poverty. A peace and conflict expert, Dr. Yoweri argues that tension in the Rwenzoris will recur if many people don't have a predictable source of income.
So, adjusting people. So with that poverty, it has been a problem for people of Kasese. And you know, when people are poor, then of course conflict finds its place in poor people, because poverty sets people against each other.
Kasese is predominantly occupied by the Bakonjo, while the Bamba hold sway in Bundibugyo. But the boundaries of the Rwenzori Kingdom and the Obudingiyabwa Culture Institution, carved out of the Rwenzori Kingdom, overlap Kasese and Bundibugyo districts.
They are Bakonzo who pay allegiance to the Rwenzori king of Kasese, of Bakonzo. But they live in the kingdom and district of Bundibugyo. So how do you resolve that conflict? Because these are people who pay allegiance to a king where they don't stay in terms of physical boundaries.
Government has intervened in a bid to stem the conflict in Kasese and Bundibugyo. President Yoweri Museveni has ruled out a split of Kasese to give leeway to the so-called Yoweri Republic that is envisaged to also include the Bakonjo neighboring DRC. But according to Ndebesa, Yoweri Republic is a hoax used by Rwenzori as bargaining power. President Museveni, who has made 2 visits to Kasese and Bundibugyo to pacify the region, promised to deploy more troops and met local, cultural and political leaders. The latest meeting with political leaders, mainly from the opposition, lasted 3 hours on Sunday. Newly elected Kasese Municipality Member of Parliament, Robert Centenary Wambale of the FDC, who attended the meeting, says the president urged leaders to emphasize development rather than identity among the people. The violence has been interpreted as a clash of the egos among different ethnic groups, inferiority complex coupled by marginalization of minority communities. Dr. Yoweri advises government to do a lot more to sensitize Ugandans on the role of cultural institutions to avert further clashes. The most surprising things about the Rwenzori conflict is that the problems have been known right from the pre-colonial times, and yet until today the same challenges still affect the area. Now, on his 4-day working visit in the sub-region, President Yoweri Museveni hopes that by the time he leaves, there will be a lasting solution to the problems and the conflict in the region. Shilan Huchire, NTV, Kampala.